We all know Dexter, Miami's blood spatter analyst by day and serial killer by night with a twisted moral code. He stalks, plans, and plastic wraps his victims before delivering his signature knife-to-the-chest kill. Now, let's break down each ritual killing from Season 1 and reveal what they say about the predator he truly is. His first kill in the movie would be Mike Donovan, aka Dexter's pilot episode guinea pig. This guy? A priest, or at least he pretends to be. But instead of saving souls, he's out here preying on kids. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Real original, right? If there's one thing that really pushes Dexter's buttons, it's people who hurt children. He made that crystal clear. So he does what he does best: stalk, study, and strike. Donovan gets snatched up and wakes up in Dexter's kill room, a slaughterhouse of precision. Plastic everywhere, no bloodstains, no evidence. It's all set up for the perfect murder. But Dexter isn't just here to kill. That would be too easy. He makes his victims face their sins first.
Open your eyes and look at what you did!
And in Donovan's case, Dexter went the extra mile. He actually digs up the remains of the kids Donovan abused and lays them out for him to see. One by one. Crazy, right? Wonder what he did with them afterward. But that's the point. No more hiding. No more pretending. Only after forcing Donovan to look at the damage he caused does Dexter do the needful. Then comes the cheek slice. A little drop of blood for the trophy collection. And you'd think at this point, Dexter would just get it over with, but nah. He makes sure Donovan understands why he's about to die. No drama, no rage. Just cold, calculated justice. And just like that, Mike Donovan is gone. No evidence, no loose ends, no problem. One less child molester in Miami. Just like Mike Donovan, Dexter's next kill was like Mike. He was not just a pedophile, but a rapist. That's Jamie Jaworski, the scumbag who preys on women. And not just that, he films it. His own personal collection of horror. Disgusting, I know. But somehow this guy smiles his way out of a murder charge, like he just got off a speeding ticket. Yeah, Dexter's not letting that slide. And here's the thing. Dexter knows a fake when he sees one. He's played the game his whole life, so Jaworski's little act is not fooling anyone. That's all Dexter needs. Then, he gets to work. Jaworski works at a junkyard, which is kind of poetic because that's exactly where he belongs. Dexter sets up the scene. He reels him in with a picture of his last victim, and then, bam! Jaworski wakes up, strapped to Dexter's kill table, wrapped up tight, and instantly freaks out. And this is where Dexter really shines. He takes his time, browsing through his collection of knives, letting the tension build. Jaworski knows what's coming. Then comes the moment of self-reflection. Well, self-reflection is a stretch. Jaworski isn't sorry, not one bit. And well, Dexter's not sorry either. He gets the confession, the proof, but let's be real. He already made up his mind. And now? The trophy ritual. The cheek slice. Expected. But this time, Dexter ups the mind games. He makes Jaworski beg. But that has no hold on Dexter. Dexter, ever the perfectionist, chops up the body, neatly wraps it up, and heads out to sea. Basically his personal landfill at this point. And just like that, another one gone. His next kill was a different kind of problem, as he was not a violent creep in the shadows but a regular guy. His name was Matt Chambers. He's just a guy who's figured out how to kill people and make it look like an accident. Drunk driving, hit and runs. Every time, he walks away clean while someone else ends up in a body bag. And the justice system is always blinded by Chambers' fake emotions. Luckily, Dexter steps in. Dexter stages a meeting with Chambers first, where he is celebrating getting off another murder charge. See, the guy's not remorseful at all. He gets drunk and drives home carelessly, possibly ready to skip town and leave behind his messy trail of accidents for a fresh start. Next thing he knows, he wakes up wrapped in plastic. Not exactly the scenic getaway he had in mind. He's strapped to a table, inside a cabin, blinking up at Dexter, who, by the way, is just as calm as ever. That's when it sinks in. This isn't some cop interrogation. There's no plea deal, no escape. Crocodile tears are not going to save him now. After taking a souvenir for his collection, and while Matt's still processing what's happening, Dexter ends it, straight to the heart. And just like that, another killer disappears. Next one's a classic, I promise. Jorge and Valerie Castillo. They are a power couple, just, the evil kind. Instead of power lunches and charity galas, they run a human trafficking ring. Their scam is to promise desperate immigrants a new life, trap them in debt, and if they can't pay, off to a watery grave. Dexter catches wind of their operation after hearing about a guy who was supposed to make it to Miami but never did. A little detective work, a fake identity, and a trip to Jorge's auto yard confirm his gut feeling. Something's seriously shady here. That night, he breaks in and finds dirty mattresses, abandoned clothes, clear evidence people were held there. But where did they end up? The next day, Dexter gets his answer. He trails Jorge's boat and peeks inside the fish hold. And of course, bodies. Just chilling there, waiting to be dumped. Right as he's taking pictures, guess who shows up? Jorge. Time to bail. But Dexter's not leaving this unfinished. A few nights later, Jorge arrives at his yard to find a trail of candles leading to a trailer. Inside, photos of his victims staring back at him. Before he can react, Dexter sneaks up from behind. God bless America. And then, plot twist. Valerie walks in. At first, Dexter thinks she's just the oblivious wife. Nope. She knew everything. Hell, she was the second half of the whole operation. Now, Dexter may have a code, but he's not about to let one half of a murder duo walk free. Cue double capture. They wake up, strapped down, and guess what? They're not even sorry. Valerie calls what they do giving people freedom. Right? Because drowning is such a liberating experience. Then comes the unexpected. A lesson in love. Yeah, from two sociopaths. Turns out, Jorge and Valerie had the same dream. Cute, in a totally deranged way. Wait a minute. If you don't want to be Dexter's next victim, I want you to press the subscribe button or else you will have some plastic wraps around your neck. Well, I am just joking. Just press the button. Now back to his next kill. Dr. Emmett Meridian. Therapy is supposed to help people, right? Well, doctor, Emmett Meridian missed that memo. Instead of saving his patients, he convinces them that suicide is the answer. Dexter notices a pattern. Powerful women, all suicides, all patients of Dr. Meridian. So he books a session under the alias Sean Ellis. Meridian? Surprisingly good at reading people. But Dexter's not here for a breakthrough. He's here for proof. A little snooping reveals a hidden camera in a plant, recording every session. So that night, Dexter breaks in and wipes his own files before watching the real horror show. Turns out, Meridian manipulates his patients, prescribing meds, getting them hooked, then cutting them off. Withdrawal kicks in, and he starts planting ideas. Suicide is bravery, and they believe him. Yeah, this guy's gotta go. But first, one more session. Oddly enough, talking to a psychopath helps Dexter so much that he actually gets close to Rita that night. Therapy kinda works, just not how Meridian intended. Final session. Dexter sits down, all smiles. Then, casually drops, "I'm a serial killer." Meridian laughs. And boy, was that a huge mistake. A second later, he's gasping for air, then slumping over from a needle to the neck. He wakes up strapped to his own chair, looking up at Dexter. Oh, and Dexter actually tells him that he helped him to accept what he truly is. Because he might be a killer, but he still has his morals. And just like that, Doctor, Meridian's deadly practice is permanently closed, but the next kill showed how cold of a killer Dexter is. Brian Moser. Some people have complicated family drama. But Dexter? He has Brian Moser, also known as the Ice Truck Killer, also known as Dexter's long-lost homicidal older brother. Brian has one goal: reunite with Dexter and make murder a family business. He stalks him, dates his adoptive sister Deborah, and starts leaving creepy little hints, like doll parts in Dexter's fridge. Subtle. Eventually, Brian takes it up a notch and kidnaps Deborah, laying her on a kill table, gift-wrapped for Dexter. The plan? Kill her together as a twisted family bonding moment. Yeah, no, Dexter's not that kind of brother. Instead, he turns the knife on Brian, fights him off, and escapes with Deborah. But Brian's not done yet. Later that night, he sneaks into Dexter's apartment, ready to finish the job. Except Dexter's faster. One well-placed needle to the neck, and Big Brother is out cold. When Brian wakes up, he's the one on the table now. And Dexter is not enjoying this one. This isn't just some random monster. This is family. Brian really loses it this time, and he tells Dexter a shocking truth. You can't be a killer and a hero, Dex. It doesn't work that way. But Dexter already made his choice. Brian's body is later found hanging from a noose in a bloody bathtub, staged to look like a suicide. One last crime scene, courtesy of his little brother. Family reunion is over. So, back to our questions. Why did these people make the cut? And what do these kills say about who Dexter really is? At first glance, it seems simple. Dexter follows the code of Harry, only going after killers who've escaped justice. But if you look a little closer, his choices actually say a lot more about him than his victims. Each kill isn't just about justice. It's about control, identity, and keeping up the illusion that he's just another guy living a normal life. Take the ice truck killer, for example. At first, Dexter is fascinated. Finally, someone who understands him. But when he discovers the truth, that the killer is actually his long-lost brother, Brian, it throws everything into chaos. Brian represents the life Dexter could have had, one without rules, without the code, without the need to pretend. And yet, when it comes down to it, Dexter kills Brian. Why? Not just to protect Deborah, or because Brian is dangerous. No, it's bigger than that. He's choosing the life he's built, the mask, the control, over the raw, unfiltered version of himself. He's choosing to be the person Harry trained him to be, even if deep down, part of him wonders if Brian was right all along. And then there are his other kills, people like Jorge Castillo, the human trafficker, or Emmett Meridian, the therapist who manipulates his patients into suicide. These aren't just criminals, they're people who prey on others. And taking them out is not just about the code, it's about giving Dexter a sense of purpose, a way to channel his darkness into something that feels right. So, what do his kills say about who Dexter really is? Well, by the end of Season 1, one thing is clear. He's not just a serial killer following a set of rules. He's a guy trying really hard to define himself, torn between who he is and who he wants to be. And every time he kills, he's not just taking out a monster, he's making sure he stays in control of his own story. Some of his kills in Season 1 were some of the best in the series. Which one do you think was the best? Let me know in the comment, and if you want to know more about his story, you can check out our channel. Thank you. And dive into the next thrilling Dexter video for more intense insight.